Okay, good afternoon, everybody. The programming will begin again now. My name is Michael Gaines. I'm a division manager at Honda Manufacturing of Alabama in Lincoln, and also AAMA board member. And I'm honored to welcome you to Innovation Test Track Pitch Competition at the 2025 Southern Automotive Conference. Since 2017, Innovation Test Track has celebrated the innovation and the chance to hear bold ideas that could shape the future of automotive manufacturing. This year, we're excited to be in Huntsville, where 4 pitch companies will share their ideas for a chance to win $5,000, and of course, network with all of us here at the conference. Honda is proud to support this activity, where creativity meets real-world application. It reflects Honda's belief in the power of dreams. This is the idea where people are empowered to think freely, act boldly, and great things happen. Today's competition is a true reflection of the power of dreams. I'd also like to acknowledge the over 4,500 Honda associates at the Alabama Auto Plant and the innovative ideas that they bring to building the best light truck products in the industry. These products include the Honda Pilot, the Honda Ridgeline, the Odyssey, and the Passport, which is right here at the back of the room. These vehicles are not only top in quality, but they also are consistently ranked among the most American-made products in the market. The excitement our associates get through participating in our own program called Innovations is truly inspiring. This program encourages creativity and allows our associates to share their unique ideas on improving safety, quality, and efficiency, ultimately making significant impacts in our processes and products. We're especially thankful to the Southern Automotive Conference organizers and the AAMA for making this pitch competition possible. So now, I'd like to turn this event over to my friend and fellow EV driver, Raymond Moore. Raymond serves as the unit manager for Honda North America for Advanced Vehicle Control Systems under the Product Engineering Department. His responsibility includes development and manufacturability for in-vehicle infotainment, as well as autonomous driving. And he does this for all of our products built by Honda. The Honda CR-V through the Honda Civic, and all of our Acura line from the MDX, RDX, to the upcoming RSX EV. Raymond's team is from all over North America, not only in Alabama, but also in Marysville, Ohio, Greensburg, Indiana, and Utsunomiya, Japan. After receiving his degree from Tuskegee University, Raymond started a 16-year career at Honda, holding different roles in manufacturing, in new model, and in mass production. He was an easy choice to MC the EV, or the Innovation Test Track, because of his excitement around designing, building, and selling 3D accessories, also his passion for innovation. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. Good luck to the presenters. Let's get this competition started, Raymond.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for having me. I'm really excited to be here as your Master of Ceremonies, and I'm going to introduce all of our judges and each one of our presenters this afternoon. So, our first judge that we have is David Zingery. David is the founder and CEO of Midmo AI, builder of MotionView, a platform redefining item-level traceability and automation. With nearly 20 years in AI-DC, IIoT, and edge intelligence, he has influenced and built smaller platforms, worked fractionally with leading technology companies, and consulted with partners and end customers across traceability use cases in intralogistics, logistics, warehousing, and distribution. Midmo's mission is to own edge connectivity for AI-DC by enhancing devices and sensors with AI to unlock real-time visibility and decision data. Acting as the connective tissue between edge services and enterprise systems, Midmo enables scalable, cost-effective automation for a global supply chain. Everybody welcome David Zingery. Next up, we have Heather Woods. Heather Woods graduated from Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, with a degree in mechanical engineering. She worked at Honda Engineering as a formability engineer in R&D and as a mechanical designer for almost every department in the automotive plants. Heather joined the SAE Atlanta board in 2016 and eventually became the Alabama representative. She left Honda Engineering to enter the aerospace world with Dynetics to work on program management, focusing on ECLSS technology. Heather is now at the basis of estimate lead for the defense systems sector, which includes air, land, sea, aerospace, and business areas at Leidos, formerly known as Dynetics. She now focuses on new proposals and best practices for program execution. Everybody welcome Heather. Our third and final judge is Stephen Woodry. He currently serves as the Manufacturing Quality Chief Engineer for the second production line at Honda's Alabama Auto Plant. Located in Lincoln, Alabama, as you know, a $3 billion vehicle and engine operation. In his current role, Woodry oversees day-to-day welding, painting, and assembly quality operations for the Honda Pilot and Passport, as you see at the rear of the room, SUVs, as well as managing his team of quality engineers and business associates who produce these models. He's served for almost 30 years, 29-year mark, almost at 30 at this point. Everybody please welcome Stephen Woodry. And regarding all of our presenters, there will be some time at the end of each or all the presentations for everybody to ask questions of our pitch leaders. So I just want to let everybody know there will be a chance for Q&A at the end. So think of good, insightful questions you can ask for them after they're done with all of their presentations. First up, I'd like to introduce SB, and the pitch leader today is Lila Ellens. She serves as the Chief Operating Officer of SB, a pioneering company dedicated to enhancing the safety of lithium-ion battery logistics for energy storage solutions. In her role, Lila drives operational excellence, overseeing supply chain innovations and strategic partnerships that ensure seamless deployment of advanced battery monitoring and failure detecting technologies. I'd like everybody to give a round of applause for Lila.
Thank you very much. It's nice to meet everybody. There should be a slideshow. Perfect. Well, hello. My name is Lila Ellens, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Energy Storage Safety Products International, or SB for short. And we're a lithium-ion battery logistics and safety company. We've been working with the United States Department of Transportation for about 3 years now, solving the problems associated with safety and lithium-ion battery transport. So you know that the world has been taken by storm by electrification. So we've got lithium-ion batteries that are powering our homes. They're powering our classrooms, our hospitals, the way we move, which is why we're here right now. And that electrification is excellent. There's a lot of batteries to produce and to transport. And there is a dark side to that. And that dark side is that when batteries fail, they fail hard. There are two examples right here. Both of these started with a single lithium-ion battery failure. And that battery failure turned into a thermal runaway event, domino effect from battery to battery, and all of a sudden, millions of dollars of damage. The problem is you don't always know when that battery is failing. And if you did, maybe you could put together a procedure that would help. The good news is that SB has a solution. That solution is to buy you time. Buy you time through detecting, monitoring, and communicating battery failures early. You could buy time, 30 minutes. You could deploy a response that could totally mitigate the damage, or at least help with the cause or the damage that's happening. So we have products that are all different form factors, but they're composed of two main components. One is a container, and I'm using that term loosely. You'll see in the next slide. But the container creates an environment for the battery to sit within, and that allows our technology to monitor that environment to see what's going on with the battery. That technology is called DNOC, D-N-O-C. That allows us to detect battery failures early, notify you that the battery failure is happening, operate something, and then communicate all of that information. So take this slide for a moment. This is one of our products. You can see this is a 20-foot storage container. And in that 20-foot storage container, we have 55-gallon drums. Each of these containers are embedded with our technology. So imagine this on the back of a semi-truck, and there's a failure happening. Our technology will detect that failure early, notify the driver through V2X, so the driver can pull to the side, deploy a response. It will operate fire suppression, and it will communicate all of that data to the cloud, so that can be used later. Another application we have here is the Smart Fire Blanket. This is not used as a reactive tool, it's used as a mitigation tool. So you can imagine a situation where we have dense storage of vehicles, like a dealership. The technology is going to detect the failure early, notify whoever's walking by it through sounds and alarms, as well as the general manager through a remote notification that there's a failure happening, and then communicate all that information through the cloud. So no matter the form factor, the important thing is that we're collecting data. We've got 24/7 access to what's going on with that battery environment. And that information can go to the cloud to be used for better analytics, to better make logistics processes. So imagine if you could know that a battery failed in Texas on a train, and a battery also failed on a ship off the coast of Maine, and to be able to find the origins as well as understand the environmental factors that went into play when those batteries failed. That's pretty powerful, and that's what the data can do. So as I mentioned, there are a variety of industries that this impacts. We are early stage, so we have to stay focused. And right now we are focused on automotive, transportation and logistics, and battery recycling. We're at a very exciting time for our company right now. As I mentioned, we've been working closely with the United States Department of Transportation to get this technology out. They want this out in the field now. They want us to commercialize. So we are set to commercialize in mid-2026. That means that we've gone through our tech pilots with industry partners. We've built our prototypes, and we're now enrolling for our field pilot that's taking place in January 2026, all in effort to get this product out to market in 2026, mid-2026. So I have a very simple ask today, and that is we are looking for companies to help join us in the pilot program. The technology is good, it works. Now we need to get it into the hands of the users so we can validate the user interface. So my ask is, if you feel that this could be a good partnership, please approach me. I'm at booth 98 right over there, happy to show you the tech and do a demo for you. And tell us how our tech can support you. This is my contact information. Would love to have a conversation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lila. Everybody give it up for her. We'll turn it over to the judges for any questions you may have for Lila.
Is this on?
There we go. It is on.
So I love the conversation about that predictive versus reactive. So data it plays a big role in my life, my world. What are some of those maybe barriers of entry? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're getting started. Is there a couple, do you see any hurdles or foresee hurdles, or what's the general openness been so far?
I think people are really excited about this. This is new, and anytime something is new, it doesn't really fit in a box. So I think that what we're facing right now is people are excited about this, but people may be having a hard time making the decision and who to bring in. So I would say for us, once we get started and once we get these out in the field, we'll have the data, which doesn't exist right now, to be able to show some of those conclusions, and that's really what we're working towards right now.
Any other questions from our judges?
Yeah, one question I have is, are there any regulatory hurdles that companies have to overcome when transporting batteries over long distances? And does this help them at all with their any of those regulatory hurdles?
That's a great question, and I would say the regulatory is still developing. So there are some standards right now, and for example, we've got the 55-gallon drum. I didn't show you this, but that's another form factor that our technology can take. That's a standard that companies are already using, but it's not smart. So we can take the form factors that are already being used and also make them smart so that you know exactly what's going on with your battery and where it's happening, because one of the factors or one of the metrics that we're taking is location as well.
All right, we have time for one more question if we got it. Anything else? Okay, excellent. Everybody please give it up for Lila Ellens with SP.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next up we have Glory EV, and this will be led by Olcaris Mirandu. Olcaris Mirandu, a senior at Auburn University, majoring in business management with a minor in entrepreneurship and military science, is set to graduate in December 2025 and commission into the National Guard, where he currently serves as a cannon crew member with the War Eagle Battalion Army ROTC. A proud first-generation American with a passion for leadership, service, and innovation, he contributes to his community through Auburn Community Church's Wonder Kids program and is the founder of Glory EV, a company focused on making EV charging affordable, scalable, and profitable. Please welcome to the stage Olcars Morandu.
Thanks for the introduction. Good to see you, Heather, as well, again. All right, so the EV market is booming, but there's a lacking factor in EV infrastructure, right? As you guys well know, we've had panelists come up here and talk to you guys about it. For businesses, they're losing EV traffic by not having EV charging amenities. The main problem for businesses, though, is that there's a high CapEx for EV charging infrastructure. There's complexity and maintenance problems. So how do we solve this complex problem? Glory EV solved this with charging as a service. We provide a turnkey end-to-end platform for businesses to be able to offer EV charging amenities at no upfront cost. So we have our scope of work includes 2 phases. We have installation services from planning installation, flexible option packages, and rebate identification. Thank you, Mr. President. And then we have ongoing management software, so online support, load management, as well as maintenance and monitoring from EVIT teams. So what's our value proposition? We basically are enabling more visibility from online travel agencies, providing more traction for destination charging where it's lacking, and providing an add-on to additional revenue for these businesses. So I know this is an automotive conference, so bear with me. We've identified a target market that is perfect for our value proposition and the service that we're providing and is underserved. The hospitality industry has over 70,000 hotels across the nation, and 70% of them do not have EV charging. And so we're primarily focused with level 2 EV charging that can be able to support this market. So we're looking at a $1.9 billion market size with a total addressable market nationwide with over 73,000 hotels. And within the Southeast, we're seeing over $600 million market opportunity currently with well over 25,000 hotels. So our competition kind of boils down to these alternatives. I didn't name drop anybody, but you can kind of see them there. But our main differentiators are from the turnkey model that we have for our total addressable market. We have a vertical focus with the hospitality industry. We have pre-integrated software that works just about with any open network or OCPP, as you probably heard about with the EV industry charger. And then we have a cash flow friendly model that limits that CapEx for that business. And so the business models that we're currently working with is host-owned. We're allowing businesses to buy the assets out up front or be able to offer a charging as a service. So the upfront model kind of just allows them to own the assets, generate more revenue from charging sessions. With charging as a service, however, at no upfront cost, starting at around $295 flat fee per port, within a certain fixed period, we can be able to offer them charging as a service. Kind of think of like leasing an EV charger. So this is how we drive revenue. Within Q4 of 26, we're projecting, we're a startup now, but we're projecting to see over $180,000 with a 42% margin. And beginning in 2027, considering adding more sales representatives and exploring more channels to be able to grow this business. So we've currently been able to partner with industry partners such as Zeal and Tesla, and are currently working out of the New Venture Accelerator at Auburn University, War Eagle. And our team is currently a collaboration of talent and decades of experience from the industry, and are ready to make this new venture scalable. So our current roadmap, we're currently in the pre-seed stage. We're looking to close deals in our current pipeline. We've been able to speak with a lot of different prospects and property owners. And within 18 months, we're currently trying to get as close as we can to 500 chargers within our network and be able to enter an accelerator program like Honda Accelerator or Techstars and raise Series A capital. So our current ask, obviously the prize is $5,000, but what we're planning on doing that is to invest in high converting proven sales channels that are able to provide us upfront capital and help us manage our charging as a service program. So, get ready for the future, Huntsville, because the future is electric. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Okaris. Judges, I'll turn it over to you for any questions.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So I do drive an EV. So
Yes.
this topic is
Yeah.
near and dear to my heart. And I have had the problem of not being able to charge on road trips and whatnot. So I'm excited about this. But my question is, how are you planning on keeping up with all the design changes that we're going to see in the next 5 years with the EV market growing so fast? The hardware needed to charge the cars is going to be constantly changing. So how will you keep your end users up to date to make sure everything is being able to be charged at that time?
Yes, so that's a great question. What the charging as a service allows us to do is to own the assets, right? So we're essentially kind of financing the project based on the project. We're sticking with level 2 because the CapEx is lower, right? And so that allows us to perform upgrades when it comes time. So, and also we're having I've had conversations with a lot of these business owners and saying, hey, in 3 years, a 32 amp charger is not going to do it. Maybe just put an 80 amp in there. Just yeah, before you know, not screw things up, but just delight your customers a little bit more. So yeah.
Sorry, a follow-up on that. What about
Yeah.
things like adapters to make sure that the ports are compatible and all that? Is that
Yeah.
also going to be in part of your service?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're trying to do. Trying to have like a universal adapter. Of course, there's NACs, there's J17s, all different types. But that's something that the industry's getting better at, and the manufacturers we've been able to work with and communicate with offer different platforms for that to be more accessible for drivers such as yourself. So yeah.
Got a question too. Your roadmap references AI for operations and customer engagement. Can you elaborate on where you incorporate AI, where you see that being of the most impact in your product?
Yes. So the AI will help one customer. We want it to be customer facing because we know, as a service, we want to do the best we can to be able to provide a charging station that works and that is not, aggravating to access and everything like that. And so there's a company that actually reached out to me that wanted to provide an AI solution for, basically customers called ChargeMate. They just got into an accelerator program, and it's a software that pairs with the hardware, kind of like what we do. And that's something that we're kind of like more open for because, 24/7 online support is challenging, especially in this space. It's hard enough getting technicians on the ground, trying to get them to install it, do a site walk and everything. But yeah, that's part of it that we're trying to use.
I imagine predictive maintenance is a big one too. Like that would be, yeah, I think there's some great use cases there. Thank you.
Yes. Any more
right.
questions?
We got to wrap this one up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I really appreciate you showing everything you have.
Thank you.
Very much, Okaris. Everybody, please give it up for Okaris Mirandu. All right, next up, we have Cognitive Spark, and that will be led by Ted Pardee. He's the Chief Revenue Officer at Cognitive Spark, a company focused on delivering secure, real-time remote support solutions for enterprise and government organizations. Ted leads the company's global commercial strategy, helping customers transform frontline operations with innovative augmented reality technology. Please welcome to the stage Ted Pardee.
Thank you, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ted Pardee, Chief Revenue Officer at Cognitive Spark. I'm here to help you think about the future. Imagine a future. Imagine the world where meeting timelines and deadlines was less of a problem. Imagine a world where your projects finished on time and finished in the profit, where your profit margins weren't always under pressure and challenges weren't always having to be dealt with on a daily basis. Ultimately, to get to that world, we have to transform the way that we work today. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about the headset I'm wearing right now, about using augmented reality along with AI to improve your business. So the reality in today's world is that we often use old tools. Unprecedented complexity and speed are problems that we have to deal with all the time. But automation, electrification, global supply chains, and new technologies, they all converge and raise the stakes for us. And while the expectations have accelerated, the workforce pipeline hasn't kept pace. The result is project delays and workforce errors. Projects are constantly delayed. It's getting worse. By 2016, or back in 2016, 85% of industrial projects missed their original completion dates. By 2022, that number had jumped to 91%. Costs are rising, margins are shrinking, and the skilled labor shortage continues to bite. And unnecessary travel and production challenges, the pressure on all of us is obvious. We all feel it. So that's why, at Cognitive Spark, that's why we were invented. We were founded in 2016 with headquarters in Canada, with offices now in Texas and over in the UK. Our goal and our mission is simple: to empower your workforce to achieve more by bringing expert knowledge directly to the point of need. We've become a global leader in secure, reliable, remote support software in the industrial and defense sectors with a single focus. Our goal is to solve complex problems quickly, safely, and confidently. So, why Cognitive Spark? Well, real-time remote support enables your technicians to connect with people who are experts all over the world in real time. Hands-free access to manuals and diagrams means that they can work without stopping. They don't have to hold a tablet. They don't have to hold cards. They can do it without the cards. Assets, photos, notes, schematics, they can all be captured in seconds, and they can be displayed inside the glasses in a lens. And unlike many tools, our solution performs reliably, even in low bandwidth environments. So right now we're operating on a cell phone hotspot with 3 bars right now. And you can see in booth 96 over there, you can see the camera that's attached to this headset. Importantly, our platform is designed for easy adoption. No matter where you are, our digital product can work. All it takes is a little connectivity, and you've got it running. So let's talk a little bit about connected worker use cases. So the use cases we're going to talk about right now are pretty simple. But remember, the users of these headsets are the generation that's coming to your work every day. When they go home, they're putting on an AR headset, or they're putting on another type of headset. Just like 30 years ago, we might have had a smartphone at home, but we didn't use one for work. Let your workers use the technology that's out there, and let them use it in the workplace today. Reducing line downtime. OEM engineers guide troubleshooting remotely, cutting downtime from days or weeks down to hours. EV and new technology troubleshooting issues are solved in real time without pulling those critical resources offline or pulling resources from another area in order to solve those problems. Supplier collaboration, faster ramp-ups in training, so being able to use this as over-the-shoulder training to bring those younger workers who may not be as skilled up to speed quickly, where you, the expert, can be at your office staring at a screen using a Teams meeting to connect rather than having to jump on a plane and fly over to the other side of the world to solve that problem. It's all about online collaboration and training. So, in closing, as you think about your own business goals, whether it's meeting deadlines, closing the labor gap, accelerating EV or new tech adoption, consider how augmented reality combined with AI can become a force multiplier for your teams. At Cognitive Spark, our focus is not just on headsets or technology. It's focused on software, but really on the outcomes that the software provides for you. Our outcomes are focused on lower downtime, higher workforce confidence, and real bottom line impact. As a Series A company, what is our ask? Our ask is to try the technology. It's being used at home by many of your workers today. If they're gaming, they're probably using a headset, and they're probably pretty good at it. Just because I may not be very good at wearing the headset doesn't mean that the next generation isn't going to be good at it. And they are already trained because they've been trained at home. Give it a chance. Give Cognitive Spark a chance. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to continuing the conversation.
All right, thank you very much, Ted. Appreciate the presentation. We're going to have time for one question here. Who wants to ask something deeply insightful?
All right, I'll take it. Thank you. You mentioned other like XR, augmented reality, virtual reality solutions in the market. If you could give me one key differentiator, what is that?
It's the one tool that can deliver a tangible ROI on day one. It's the one thing that you can buy and implement that will absolutely save you money. Earlier today, we heard the presentation talking on the panel where the automotive manufacturers were talking about the cost of the vehicle hasn't changed, but, or the cost may have been going up slightly, but we can't increase the prices forever. And the cost to build the car is getting a lot more expensive. So how do you save money? You can give your workers tools, and again, this is not going to replace a worker. This is not a tripod. You have a human that's wearing this device, so it will empower your workers and make them feel better about their job, and it makes it easier for them to do their job and solve problems quickly.
All right, thank you very much, Ted. I'd like to ask everybody to give a round of applause to Ted Party with Cognitive Spark. Thank you, Ted. All right, next up, we have QPoint Robotic Solutions. This will be presented by Mark Battisti. He's the Director of Technology at QPoint Robotic Solutions. They have developed some impressive standard packages that work with any brand of industrial robot. Although their focus is small batch, high changeover automation, they can certainly do high volume tasks as well. Some people call Mark the mad scientist. And that creative spirit led to what is going to be shared today. Now, they didn't make the robot, but they made the robot easy. Please welcome Mark Battisti.
All right, thank you. So, let's get right into it. Robots are dumb. Okay? So if robots are dumb, how in the world are we going to get anything useful out of them? Well, the way we do it right now is you throw a bunch of people at it, you get those engineers going, a bunch of time, and do a lot of programming work, and then eventually you got something that can make some parts and do some good stuff for you. And a lot of impressive robots out there, not taking anything away from them. But that's the general process right now. So what if you wanted to do a smaller batch size, right? Or you needed to make a change on the line. The only way to do that is to go ahead then and, okay, let's bring those engineers back out. Let's go to work again, set up something new, and then get it to running. But what if you had a different batch size, even smaller, where all of a sudden it's hard to justify that? What if you had a batch size of 1 and you wanted to automate it? Most people would be like, no way, ain't gonna happen. Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today, batch size of 1. The only way to do that is if you have something smarter and easier to use, and that's what we've developed. So, to do that in the traditional sense ain't gonna work. So you gotta, take a little bit different look at this. So we're looking at people, and how do they teach somebody new that's coming on the scene? You got your master who knows all about the process. He can go ahead and use those skills to teach an apprentice and do the kind of work. And generally that involves something that looks like showing. And that's what we're talking about doing here today, is the concept of showing instead of programming. So, let's see. The way that don't have quite enough hands for all this, I'm gonna kneel down. But this is a simple little handheld tool we got here, and we're showing in the booth over here welding. So, thanks, JD. So, you can take any handheld tool for your process, and here, I'm just gonna show by hand, boom, there it is. There's the motion that I want the robot to go through to do that welding process. That's tracked, that's managed, recorded, got little buttons on here to make it happen, and you send it to the robot. So that's all there is to it. And yeah, okay, that was weird. I did it on stage. JD, could you just like actually do it? Okay. So he's got to go program a brand new job on a robot. So we got lots of time, so I'm going to keep talking here. So what makes our process a little bit different is that we're teaching it in a different way. So yeah, that was just a little path, but now when that path is shown, it's now entered into a system where everything about it is already tied together. All of the things that are needed for a welding activity as, hey, weld that seam for me, there's a lot involved with that. Well, that gets all baked into the suggestion of the motion. So, what, you're done? Okay, I got another slide here though. It's supposed to take longer. So I'll do another one. That seemed too quick. You guys can watch JD if you want over there. He's teaching the robot. Let's see. Moving around here. I'll get this next slide ready. Okay. So there's a lot of neat stuff that happens behind the scenes. You know, when you have that path, profile laser can look at the line, calculate more stuff about the shape of the seam, do all the important things, you know, and clean up the line that the human just sort of showed roughly to make it work perfectly. So you got the smarts of the person that's the master now becomes the robot programmer. So that's kind of how this process works. So you did it again over there already? There it goes, yep. Okay, well, if you want to get the first-hand feel and come over and actually do it yourself, feel free to step on over, because we can, you know, you can go ahead and be the next welder. And it's that concept of a batch size of 1 that really makes us a little bit different. Now, of course, if we can do a batch size of 1, we can do, naturally, a batch size of a ton, right? So you teach the first one, you can do a whole bunch more. There's plenty of industries that are out there doing things, and my question to you is, what is your dangerous process? What is your difficult task, or what is your high changeover thing that you'd like to partner with somebody that has the infrastructure and the tools that work with any brand robot to make a process that does a batch size of 1? So here at Q Point Robotics, we didn't make the robot, but we did make the robot easy. And so glad to be here today and look forward to seeing you over at the booth.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. From our judges.
Yeah, I have a question. Mark, thanks for the presentation. Thanks for the demonstration. That was really cool. What would be like a really good example of a batch size of 1 application that you guys have seen customers use? Help me understand that some more.
Okay, so another example is in the casting industry, large castings a lot of times are made, you know, the processing of the secondaries is all by hand on one large piece. You bring a chain, you crane it down onto a surface, and then you have to, like, let's say, cut off the riser. So in that situation, you got a big heavy tool, big heavy cutoff saw, and you're just kind of clamping the part rough to do the work. Well, in that scenario, you can use the crane, drop the part down, clamp it up, and I could use a very light little teaching tool to click near the process and say go, and now the robot holds the heavy tool, does the dirty work, cuts off that, and now it goes. So that's a very legitimate batch size of 1 process that happens. So that's a good example of the dangerous heavy work that the robot can do, but without it being a tooled automation setup.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
I have a question. So this is a great technology. It's really interesting. I can think of a lot of use cases, but do you have competitors, or is there any other like technologies out there, and how do you compare?
That's a great question. There are some other people that are doing like a tracing pen and other kind of stuff, but our company is really weird in how we're set up because we're not really an integrator, but we do turnkey systems, and we're not really just a, you know, like a robot manufacturer or that kind of a thing. So we live in that space where we've developed some really neat tools that work with any brand robot that integrators can take advantage of if they want to have a little fancier tool. So really we got kind of a package that's different, that's ready for somebody else's data, somebody else's, you know, sophisticated product, And one of the other things we do have in our booth is a dimensional scanning. That's a great example of a very sophisticated product that's hard to impose on robotic process that doesn't have some of that infrastructure that we already have in managing the motion and a lot of things. So hope that answered your question.
Okay, if we don't have any others, I'll thank you very much for your presentation. Everybody, please give it up for Matt. Matt, I'm going to ask you to stay. Because we're going to bring up all of our other presenters. Olkaris, if you could join us. Lila, if you could join us as well. Ted, if you could join us. This is just for the Q&A portion. I'm also going to send our judges out to do the deliberation and give our audience here an opportunity to ask any questions they've been thinking of while you all have been presenting. So I'll send it out. I can't see anybody, I'm sorry. But if we have questions in the audience, I think we have a microphone roving around, so. Both sides. So can you wave at me if you have a question? Somebody? Or just ask it if we have a microphone? This is going poorly. Hopefully we'll get some questions. I have questions. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. Oh, they got one. Okay. Do we have a microphone near this gentleman in the light-colored shirt? Oh, here we go. Thank you.
Hi, so my question is about the programming for the robot, because this technology is super interesting to me. Didn't know something like that existed. Previously in my career, years and years ago, I was a welder, and so I could certainly see the use case for something like that. How instantaneous is that in real world in terms of, would you be able to do one article and then instantly have the robot repeat that same motion hour by hour?
It really is instant. You can teach a path here, and it'll go ahead and do it. Now, at the show here, it's been simplified a good bit, so we're just working in 3-axis space, but full 6-axis of motion, full path correction. If you had a profile laser that the robot would zip over the same path you just showed, it would then enhance that for perpendicularity, et cetera. So you, as the expert welder, would be able to select the weaving profile that you want to use, but you're just going to show the basic seam line and go to town.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Do we have any other questions? I saw one other microphone roving in the back. Anybody else? All right, well, I can ask some questions while we deliberate here. Thinking of, let's see, who do I want to ask? Olkaris, I'd like to ask you a question about Glory EV. In terms of expanding capabilities or integrating with other platforms, what's your positioning on that? What might that look like in the future? Do you plan on working with other charging infrastructure entities or anything?
Yeah, so kind of like I think what I was trying to get at was we're kind of like hardware technology agnostic. So that just enables us to not be a closed network. I'm sure you probably heard. You said you're an EV driver, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. EvoCharge just recently, announced they're closing business. There's a lot of other networks out there that kind of, I don't think they're a closed network, but like an LX Way, when they just basically ditched all their chargers.
I have
in
personal
America.
experience with that.
Yeah, you had personal experience with that. All right, we're heated right now. All right, so, but I think that's going to allow a lot of people to kind of venture out into the EV space a lot quicker, and not sticking to just one thing. It's extremely great for like modularity and also diversity in product, and also in terms of if there's only a manufacturer that provides a certain amperage, then you can get it from that supplier or manufacturer. You can get it from another one, like an 80 amp for someone else or a DC fast charge for someone else. Just allows more versatility. That.
Okay, thank you. Question for you, Ted, that I was thinking about in terms of like complexity and everything like that. What was your biggest challenge in terms of like a technical challenge that you ran into while developing your application? Oh, sorry, we don't have a mic for you.
The challenge initially is encrypted video, to be honest with you. So the first couple of use cases we had were government related. So you've got to be able to handle secure audio and video files on the internet. So that was sort of the first phase. As we've started to work more with commercial customers, making sure that we meet IT standards, and whether it's for audio or video, those are key ports that can be hacked, and we got to make sure that we've got that taken care of before we go live.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And Lila, we have one?
We do have a question out here to y'all's right, front row.
Please.
So I have a question for ESSPI on energy safety. So you mentioned essentially just make the drums smarter. And how would that influence the cost? And also when you transport, say, from one carrier to another carrier, how would that make a, say, smooth transition?
That's a great question. Thank you. So what I would say is that all of our products are reusable, right? So that's the thing to remember. Just like you're about to purchase equipment or purchase containers that you would be reusing, it's the same thing for our products as well. So it is a very cost-effective solution when you're thinking about the potential losses having a battery failure, both in operational continuity as well as the direct damage that you could have. And then your other question had to do with moving from carrier to carrier.
Yes.
So there are still some things that we quite frankly have to figure out, and those types of things will be addressed in the field pilot. The good news is that we have the data, and that data, it's just a matter of where we're placing it, right? The biggest thing is that we can collect it, and we've got a good system to be able to track where the batteries are and what's going on with the environment.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, thank you all for your questions. Are we good? Do we have a final verdict? Okay. All right, for Honda's Innovation Test Track, the winner of today's competition is SB.
Can we get all the participants together in the front?
Yeah, we can put down the mics. If you want to set your mics down in the chairs here, we'll just get a good family photo right here. All right, now I've been told I have to take